So it really, what it looks like to me is that your person thinks that you feel like things are really kind of stalled between the two of you. And that you have been kind of abandoned in a lot of ways. I think that they feel like you might kind of worry that this relationship has impacted your self-esteem in some ways. Like, even if that's just because it puts you in kind of a low place. Like, I think that they're feeling like this relationship can put you in a place where you don't feel the best about yourself and where you don't feel like you're having the most positive outlook about life in general. And I do think that that kind of energy, it could lead you to be in a place of exploring your options. I think that that's what your person is thinking of. Like, they're thinking that you're viewing this connection as like something where you're kind of you might be exploring your options a little bit, and that could mean different things for different people. They might not even know what they mean by that. It's just almost like they feel like your attention might be elsewhere, and this could be because you're not in contact with this person, so they really don't know what you're up to. They might think that you are open to maybe starting something new with someone else, maybe open to exploring different parts of your life, different facets of your life, maybe studying something new, traveling to a new place, kind of like switching up the energy a little bit. It's like they think that you're viewing this relationship as something that's stagnant, and like you are looking for ways to bring movement into your life, looking for ways for like to kind of shake up the energy a little bit, looking for ways that you can move things along for yourself that might be outside of this connection. And again, you might not feel like that at all, but your person at least worries that that you might explore your options. The Two of Wands can also talk about kind of like waiting for the perfect time for something. So they might think that you're waiting for something for a particular reason, like biding your time in some ways, or waiting for a particular opportunity to open up. And you know what? For a lot of you, probably for most of you, this energy of waiting for the right time could be that they think that you want to move the relationship forward in some way. Maybe you want the relationship to have better communication, or you want the two of you to move in together. Some part of it feels stalled, and that you're waiting for the right time to bring those changes into the relationship, or you're waiting for the right time to broach that topic with them and to discuss these things with them. It might be that your person is thinking that they're kind of like, you know, when people are sort of bracing themselves for a conversation that they know is coming, that could be a huge part of this. They might feel like, okay, like this is going to come out at some point. This conversation is going to happen. I'm going to be made aware of these things at some point. And they might be a little bit nervous about that. Two of Wands can also talk about a long distance relationship. So this could be a relationship that feels a little bit stalled, and that you are feeling, or they think you are anyway, feeling really lonely because you are at a distance from this person. And it doesn't have to be because of a fight or because of a breakup. It doesn't have to be that kind of separation. I am kind of getting the energy for this reading that it really might not be that type of situation, but for some of you it might be. I think for a lot of you it is that the two of you are apart because of physical distance, and that you don't really want to be. But I think that that's a huge focus for this person. When we're talking about how they think you're viewing the relationship, they think you're viewing the relationship as something that is stalled, as something that's not moving forward because the two of you are at a distance, something that leaves them feeling lonely a lot of the time. So it might be that they are thinking a lot about how you have to go to bed at night alone every night because they're not there to cuddle up with you. How the two of you will have long conversations, but when you get off the phone, you feel lonely again. So this is how they think you're viewing the relationship. We have the Page of Wands in reverse, and really again, there's this feeling of something being kind of stalled. So I think for a lot of you, it might be that your relationship has never gotten to the point where it is physical, and that could be because of the distance between you. It could be that you have never physically been in the same area as this person, and you're just waiting to to meet with them. So there is like this passion, but it feels unrequited. It feels like something that you can't quite grasp a hold of. And there's this kind of like newness to it. So I do think for a lot of you, it's like you haven't explored that part of your relationship yet, but it feels like there's a block to that happening. And that could be physical distance. Like it's really hard to get physical when you are like thousands of miles apart or something. So yeah, I think that's another thing. They're kind of thinking that you want to explore that, like a more physical relationship with them, and that doesn't have to be sexually. It can be, you know, just being in physical close proximity. It could be that. It could be just they're thinking that you think a lot about when the two of you are together, when you are near each other again. And yeah, that's how they think you're viewing the relationship. It feels a lot like what they're telling me here, like what they're laying out in front of me is that you think a lot about the relationship, like you dream a lot about the relationship, you daydream and fantasize a lot about the relationship, like you plan things, like there's a lot planned here, but there's very little that can actually happen. That's how they think you're viewing the relationship. Lots of plans, not a whole lot of action. And I think, again, for a lot of you, that's because of physical distance. For some of you, it could be that it's like they think that you have all these plans for how things are going to go, and that you have a vision for how things are going to go, but it doesn't go that way. And like you're always in this position of waiting. And that's how they think you're viewing the relationship. You're always in a position of waiting and, you know, just planning. And the plans kind of stack up, and the actions don't happen. We have the devil here. So I really think that that's tying in nicely with the Page of Wands energy for those of you who this is like a really passionate connection that you want to explore in a physical way, if that's like what you're into. I know some people they're not interested in that in their connection. That's not the point of the connection for them. But for those of you who are, I do think that there is a lot of like there's a lot of tension between the two of you in that way. There's this real desire, this urge, this almost like compulsion to be close together, and I think both of you feel that. Your person knows that you're feeling that way, that you're thinking that way. It's like there might be a lot of like fantasizing that's going on, or they think that you're doing that. They think that you are thinking about them in like a really heated, passionate way. They think that you want that to be a part of the relationship, that you like, that you're longing for them in that way, you're desiring for them in that particular way. The Devil card can also talk about like attachment. It can talk about attachment that's healthy and attachment that is not healthy. In this case, I don't see any reason why it would be unhealthy. So that would, you know, you would know better than I don't think that they think that you are unhealthily attached to them. I think that there is like an attachment. There is like a strong connection between the two of you, and that's kind of, I think, what they're bringing to me with this Devil card, is that there is an interest in exploring a physical connection with that. And there's also like this element of temptation. Like there's a lot of, I think it's just because it's something that can't be explored for whatever reason. So there's a lot of temptation, there's a lot of desire, there's a strong pull toward each other. And I think this person knows that. This might be because of conversations that you have. I think for some of you, maybe you've had quite explicit maybe you kind of explore that more physical part of your relationship through phone calls or through text messages or through email or something like that. So there is kind of like, it might be known that there is a physical relationship that wants to be pursued here. there is also, and you know what's funny, all of the readings have this element. So I think for so many of you, your person has a lot of fears and worries that you will walk away from this connection. And in this case, that's true too. They, at the end of all of this, after everything that they know, they think that you will walk away, that you might walk away. They worry that they're going to lose you. And that's been a common thread that has shown up in one way or another in all of these readings. They worry that you will leave them. And I think in this case, this person, it's not that they've done anything, or at least they don't realize that they have, because we're looking at how they think you're feeling, and they might be oblivious to ways that they may have hurt you. But from what I'm seeing, they're not thinking that there's something that they've done in particular. That really might not be true for some of you. I think that what they're looking at, the fruits, they're looking at what the result of whatever has happened is. So for some of you, if they hurt you and it caused this physical separation, they're not so much thinking that you're thinking about what they did to hurt you. Sorry if that got confusing. They're not so much thinking that you're thinking about, but you know, bear with me. They're not thinking that you are concerned with what they did to hurt you. They think that you're concerned with how alone you feel right now, and how you feel like the relationship is stuck, stalled, stagnant, bottomed out. How you are making plans, but the plans haven't happened yet, and how you miss them and like you want them physically. That's what they think you're thinking about. True or not, that's what they think. And then at the end of that, they also think that you might be contemplating walking away from this at some point, which I could see. I mean, it's like it feels like this relationship might have all the elements to make you feel kind of alone at times. So they're worried that loneliness will become enough to make you maybe walk away. And again, with that Two of Wands energy, there is a little bit of a fear of like, what if they explore different options? What if they're thinking about other people? What if they're thinking about maybe getting into a relationship that's a little bit easier? Maybe a relationship where we can be close, where they could be closer with somebody, where there's not this distance. However that distance got there, they think you might be contemplating getting into something where that distance isn't there. Okay, let's pull some cards for you. I feel like your tarot cards really told a detailed story there, and so I spent a lot of time there. How many cards is that? Okay, we have Blessed, Fork in the Road, and Clean It Up. So yeah, I think that this person, they believe that you see this relationship as something very powerful, as something very like a blessing that came into your life. It's almost like it's a bit of a blessing and a curse at the same time, because it does feel like there's something that kind of stalls it, that keeps it from being everything that you hoped it could be, or that leaves you feeling lonely a lot of the time, or they feel like they're leaving you lonely a lot of the time. But there is also this feeling of like, they think you might be at a crossroads when it comes to this connection. Two of Wands energy, fork in the road. It's like, you really might be at a place where you're going, should I continue on this path? Should I continue going this way, or should I go a different way? Now, you may never contemplate that. You may be in this relationship for good, and you may be waiting it out. And even if you have to feel lonely, even if you have to wait longer, you're still going to do that. But your person thinks that you might view this connection as something that you want to deviate away from. And this person also thinks that you might want to kind of bring some kind of healing or renewal into this situation, that you think about the ways that you can make this situation better. You think about the ways that you can like bring more of what you want into this connection. That they think that that's what's on your mind, bringing more of what you want. And I do think it feels like there is a lot of planning here. They could be so wrong, but it's like it feels like there's a lot of planning on your end. And it's like you spend a lot of your time thinking about how you can make this better, how you can like turn it into something that is more desirable. And I think you just spend a lot of time thinking about when you can reach that place. You have the Lion. So again, this is like a really determined energy. I think your person sees you as somebody who's very strong, who's very determined, who's very passionate, and who kind of like has their eye on the prize. So I think a lot of what happens with them is they probably start to worry. Like they probably think that this connection is really solid and like they've got you, and like you will kind of stick this out with them. You'll wait for whatever changes need to be made. It might be that you need to wait for them to do some healing and kind of clean some stuff up in their lives. And they see you as somebody who is determined to do that. But then every now and then I think they wobble, and then they think, wait, what if they're thinking that they will walk away from this connection? What if they're looking at all the different roads they could go down? So in a lot of ways they think maybe they aren't quite worth you waiting for, or they worry that you might not think that they are worth you waiting for. And that scares them. But it's like at the same time, like with this devil energy and everything, it's like the two of you, the connection that you feel is so strong, and it feels like fated. Again, these cards are always playing back in, and as I'm saying that, I'm looking at the Wheel of Fortune. This feels like a connection that both of you view as something that was fated. It was destined to happen. You might feel like this person is your soulmate. You feel very happy and almost like the angels have smiled down on you in terms of how well this connection seems to fit together. But there is a problem here. Like, at least your person thinks there is. Your person thinks that there is some amount of unavailability here. There's a reason that you think that they're not fully available to you, and there's a way that you're not able to fully explore this connection. Let's pull some romance angels. What does group 4's person think that they feel about this connection? You guys, it would be so interesting to let me know down in the comments below if this is how you're feeling, because you know, we do this, we project our own feelings onto other people a lot of the time, and your person might be doing that. They might have their own fears and insecurities, and then that plays into how they think you're feeling about the connection. What does, okay, let's see here. Oh yeah. Okay, this actually came out for the last group, for group 3. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you, and free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. So your person thinks that you might be focusing on the negative aspects of the connection, that you might be focusing on the problems, and that you might want to get yourself out of this connection. They are worrying about that. That could be true or not true. Maybe you do sometimes look at the connection and think this isn't going anywhere, and maybe I should pursue something else. Maybe I should get myself out of this. Maybe I should, it's almost like unchain myself from this whole situation and go and pursue something else. But whether it's true or not, your person has their moments where they're worried that that's what you're thinking, that you're thinking you want to get out of this, and that all you can see sometimes are the bad things in the relationship. That maybe even though the connection is so powerful, maybe sometimes all you can see are the negative parts of it. Maybe sometimes all you feel is alone. Let's get some messages from your person, and then we'll wrap up your reading. Okay. I regret lying to you. So for some of you, your person may not have been truthful about some element of the connection. This might be something that you're aware of or something you're not aware of. I think for a lot of you, your person maybe led you to believe that they were going to be more available than they are, or that they were going to be available sooner than it has turned out. And, you know, I think in some cases they didn't mean to lie. They might they might have thought that that was true at the point that they said it, or maybe they wanted it so badly to be true. But yeah, they do feel some kind of regret here in this situation. We have, I know I was a distraction from your pain. Okay, let's get another card. We had, I'm starting to understand our connection come out. I'm going to pull another card for you. I do think that there might be a couple of different scenarios playing out in this pile. And you'll have to kind of take what resonates. Also, this is coming from your person and what they think is on your mind. So these messages could kind of reveal some things that you might not have known about how they are viewing the connection. I'm starting to understand our connection really could be that the depth and the gravity of this might not have been immediately apparent to your person when you first started getting together. That could be why, if this is true for you, that you have been the one that has like had more of the plan about how this was going to come together, or been more of the driving force to trying to get the two of you in the same area or on the same page. They may not have understood how powerful this was, how important it was. And it's like now they are starting to. And I think that plays into a lot of the fear that they might have about you deciding potentially to walk away. Because now they're starting to see how important it was. I hid who I really am from you. So I think this came out in another reading. I do think that this person is, they're regretful about how slow they may have moved through this connection. They might not have been completely upfront about things. They might not have been totally truthful. I don't get the feeling that there's like a lot of stuff that you don't know at this point. I think it might be things that you found out over the course of the relationship. Like you found out that they weren't ready at one point, or they weren't available, or that things weren't working out the way that you thought. I think in some cases, it might be that things went differently than both of you thought. And this person might not have communicated very well about it. So I am sensing a lot of regret from this. And I also think that your person recognizes that you have been through some stuff yourself before they came into your life. I think they recognize that you have been hurt before, and that this relationship kind of took your attention away from some of that hurt and that heartache that you've had in the past. And then I think they're feeling guilt about that too, because it's like if they can't show up the way that they really want to and the way that they know you need them to, then they worry that that pain returns to you. And we might have seen that a little bit with that Five of Crystals energy, that when this person isn't there, when you're not able to connect with them, when it's another disappointment after another disappointment, that some of that pain can come back. And I don't think this person really wants to hurt you at all. I do think that they see how important this connection is. That was really interesting, kind of those messages from your person. There's a lot of regret on their end, and there's a lot of worry about, I think for most of you, about how quickly they're able to progress when it comes to this relationship. So I think that's all I see for you. I'm going to go ahead and end your reading there. I loved hanging out with you. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards. I'm sending you all so much love and light, and I will see you next time. Bye.